Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Lindz.
And it's your girl, Hazel Joy.
And this is the Fillennials podcast. Yay! Applause. Just kidding. Of course, this is not Hazel Joy, but this is our lovely marketing department, not just marketing manager. He's our whole marketing department. He's our videographer and our editor. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
This is the one and only Aaron Davon. I'm on the screen. Hazel Joy could not make it with us because she was a little under the weather. So I had to go ahead and be the sixth man of the year. Go ahead and plug myself in, make a couple baskets for the team, You always got to need somebody to come off the bench,
There you go. Coach put him in and he's here to put in some work.
Hey, I got buckets.
There you go. We know you do. So yeah, I'm excited to have you guest host and not just do like a little pop-in cameo like you did on your birthday or your pre-birthday episode, but you're actually here to be the guest host of the episode. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. It feels good to be home. And, if I'd have been in the studio, I think I'd have been more scared.
Oh, no, I know. Because I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of pressure on you. Because honestly, we didn't know that you would have to step in until literally a couple of hours ago because Hazel just took a turn and she just was not feeling good. But yeah, I'm glad that you stepped up to the plate in your game, and I know you're ready. You're super ready.
Coming off the bench, Coach. I'm ready.
There you go. So before we get into the topic at hand, how's your week been? How was your weekend?
Weekend was overall good. I think it was kind of great that we finally had some good weather in California. We're not looking like Oregon or Washington with that dreary weather. I thought there was a reason why I was paying higher taxes around here because the weather's nice and the sun is always out. But for some reason, it's always raining and it's dreary and the clouds are always here. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to live in Seattle. I want to live in Southern California. Okay.
Man, yeah, for real. Like yesterday it was like 81 degrees. And then on my way home, it started to rain, like fat rain. And I'm like, this is not normal. I felt like we fast forwarded to like November, like within a span of a couple of hours. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully it stays sunny and warm until it's winter again. Did you get into anything fun?
When we're recording right now, it's the first day of spring.
Oh, that's true.
We're recording right now, it's the first day of spring. So maybe the weather will stay sunny like this. The flowers will grow and overall. But over the weekend, I just spent some time with my goddaughter. She is turning 10 on March 20th. But we celebrated her birthday a little bit earlier. I love her very much, but she'll be going to Japan on her birthday. So I won't be able to see her. She'll be out there right? My girl be traveling.
Damn. Does she have Japanese heritage?
She's a mix with a lot of things. Mostly why she goes out there to Japan is because her uncle was working there. And now her uncle from her dad's side is now stationed out there for the Navy. So,
wow.
Any chance to go to Japan, she goes. But she's trying to go to Hawaii next.
Love Hawaii. Okay. The only place I've ever traveled to as a 10-year-old was the Philippines, and it wasn't for a happy reason. It was for a funeral. And the time before that, the only other place I went to was the Philippines when I was 4 for a funeral.
Oh, man.
So she's living the life as a 9, almost 10-year-old.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of her. She's having fun experiences out there.
Damn. Awesome, man. These are like going to be core memories for her.
Yeah, it's definitely dope. As a kid, if you get to travel and, as adults, when we have those experiences, get to travel and see different cultures, different type of people, is mind opening for us. But as a kid, if you go out there and you see different cultures, different people, that's a whole different world. You know what I mean? So definitely Japan. It's like, dreams can come true in Japan. What, you want a dragon to come out of the sky? We can make that. Oh, what, you want to be a princess for 5 days? We got a whole tea shop for that.
Oh, there you go.
Cats? Oh, we got a cat shop. Like Japan, they'll make your dreams come true.
That's true. And I think they have like a corgi cafe, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. They have all different types of cafes. It's crazy out there.
Oh, man. Well, if she's staying in or around Tokyo, I think she might like Shibuya. because there's a lot of like really cool like teenagers that walk around. Like you would think that it was like some kind of convention because a lot of people look like they're dressed in cosplay every
Yeah,
day. So I think she probably enjoyed that neighborhood for sure.
definitely, definitely. But yeah, other than that, the weekend was very chill. I think overall, I was just trying to take in the weather. How about you? What you do this weekend?
So Darius and I, we did a DJ gig at a hookah bar on Friday, and it was super
Oh yeah,
chill. The place was small. We've never even been to a hookah bar before, let alone DJ'd at one, but it was really, really chill, laid back. Um, it was a little on the slow side, which was kind of a letdown in a way because like, you know, as a DJ, you want to perform for a big crowd and get people moving, but it was just like a
yeah,
few people there and all they were doing was smoking hookah and having conversation, which I mean is what you would expect going to a hookah bar. But all in all, I thought it was cool.
chill vibe.
Yeah, chill vibe. And it kind of took some pressure off of me because it was such a small crowd that I didn't feel like as nervous or anxious as typical. Um, but so that was Friday. We were in Culver City, and for dinner before the gig, we ate at Honey's Kettle Chicken. Have you been there before?
Oh, I've heard about it. I haven't been
Yeah,
there before, but I've heard about it.
I will say their food used to be good. I'm
Oh,
so
it's not no
sorry.
more. Dang.
Maybe we went on an off day. I mean, their chicken is still crunchy, but it's
Okay,
inconsistent.
got you.
Inconsistent. So, like, I had a two-piece meal. One piece was kind of bland, and the other piece was way too salty.
Mm.
So, I'm like, how do you get it so like on both ends of the spectrum? But yeah, that's that's a disappointing thing about like I don't know. It was such a letdown because I was so hyped to eat it because I haven't had it in a long time. But
It's a hyped up spot.
um,
It's like a super hyped up spot.
it is. But I don't know. Better luck next time. I'll probably give it another chance. Maybe it was just an off night.
I'm out to
Yeah.
go because I mean I'm at least try it once to see. I remember one time I was by a location, and I think it was like just about to close, and we had gone there for other reasons, but I was like, dang, that's the spot everybody be talking about. I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I know where it is.
Yeah. One of these days, you give it a try, and hopefully, you have a better meal than I did.
I hope
um.
so too.
Yeah. I mean, but that's pretty much it. I did adulting for the rest of the weekend. I got my oil changed. Had to buy a new
Ooh,
filter. I couldn't
ooh.
avoid that. Um, and that was another $140 out of my pocket. But I
I know how
mean,
you feel, bro.
I got to take care of business, you know?
It's funny. I was more impressed about you adulting than the rest of the stuff. It's funny, like when
Really?
you're adults now, you're like, and you did what? And you washed the dishes and you did the laundry too, girl. Man, I need to do the same thing. You know, I gotta take care. I gotta do the same thing. You know, I gotta get this oil change. You know, the adulting is the stuff I get impressed about. I'm like, oh, you went where? Oh, dang, okay,
You know what it is? It's the solidarity and knowing that you're not alone with these
yeah,
responsibilities. And when you have friends that are taking care of business, you're like, you know what?
yeah,
I should do it too. And I can do it too. So
yeah.
I'm glad that you found the silver lining in all of that.
Yeah, I'm
But
impressed by that. Like I did my laundry and I have a lot of clothes and I think I sent you guys a picture. I was like
yep.
had my editing software to the side, was in the laundry house because I had about like 6 loads that like,
Woo.
and that's just like half of my clothes. Like I have more clothes that I need to wash. I really need to throw some clothes away. Like seriously, I don't wear the half the
Same here.
clothes.
I can't
but
fit into most clothes now.
but yeah, so like get it done. I'm impressed about getting it done.
There you go. Yeah, when you sent us that photo, I was like, look at you with your time management, double tasking,
Yep, yep.
multitasking at least. But yeah, I'm glad that we took care of business and we also had a little bit of fun over the weekend. And now it's here. We're recording. This is our recording day. And I'm ready to get into the topic. How about you?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm going to say two words, and I bet you everyone listening right now will know exactly what this is. Ressa Tessa. Ressa Tessa, the viral sensation. And Aaron, you just discovered her today.
I like heard things like just like, oh, this story is crazy. Oh, did you hear about like when you hear like a little chatter on the side, you're like, oh, okay, I gotta look into it, and you never kind of get into it. And I sat down, put my iPad in front of me, and it's like when nowadays like people used to read the newspaper or people used to read certain stories, but now it's like our younger generation definitely talk about millennials and the generation next to us. We go on Reddit.
Yeah.
Or the
Yes.
juice is on the Reddit. And so we on Reddit. I'm on the Reddit file. I'm just like, what, who, what you talking about?
Yeah.
This story is crazy. You
The
go ahead and take it
story,
away.
the story is unbelievable. So Ressa Tessa is the username for Teresa Johnson. And she posted a series on TikTok. It's 50 videos and it's titled, Who the Fuck Did I Marry? And me and Hazel, especially, we love our true crime podcast. And when we hear an opener like that, it's like, okay, this is going to be some juicy stuff. And I do want to say that even though her story was extremely entertaining, it's extremely sad too,
Yeah,
because it's different from like a one episode podcast where a host reads a story to you about people
yeah,
that aren't speaking for themselves or whatever. It sounds like you're listening to a novel or a movie plot. But when it's coming from the actual victim's mouth, it's like it hits you different. So yeah, Ressa Tessa, she blew up. 50 videos, over 400 million views total. And it's funny how you said that, the generations after us, they're like all in social media, but we like Reddit, like, and like generations older than us, they read the newspaper.
yeah.
So, but Reesa Tessa, she went from TikTok to Good Morning America. So
It's
now
crazy.
that's when you actually went viral, is when you go from social media to network nationwide TV. Um, and so you said that you watched a little bit of that interview, right?
Yeah, I did.
It's Her story is just daunting. For someone like you who finally kind of like dove into some of the details of her story
Mhm.
and not just hearsay, what were your biggest takeaways from her interview from Good Morning America? Like, what were the most shocking
I think
tidbits?
a lot of times you like have these people who are on TikTok or who are on like these social media accounts, and they get like exposure on TV, and they're kind of like, oh, like she's fake or she's doing this for the TV. Bro, she was like giving her heart and soul. Like she was
Oh,
like, she was hurt. She was, but like I got to give her props. She's strong. Like she was right. She one thing that she said was like, it was one thing to put her story out there for people to know, like, it's better to check than not to check. You know what I mean? And then,
oh,
you know what I mean? To go ahead and to verify, to not verify is, I think, what she said,
uh-huh.
word for word. And she said because she was not verifying, and there were so many red flags and so many situations. I feel like the sincerity of like her story, and like you said, when it's not like a podcast or a story that's being read to you, but coming from the person's mouth, that it makes it so personal. It makes it so like
Mm-hmm.
gut wrenching, but at the same time, it's like
Yes.
it's entertaining because it's like what like the story is
It's
just
so
so real,
fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
And so that's the thing that I got. Like I felt the realness of her and the story that I was like, okay, this is she's hurt by this, and it kind of seems like she don't know where it's not going to be like, oh, it's just overnight and I'm better now. She's like, no, I'm affected by this, and this is kind of going to stay with me forever.
right. Yeah. Just to give a brief like rundown for those of us who haven't heard of Risa Tissa's story, she, I'm actually going to read a quote that she said in, I think, her first video of the series. She said, I'm going to tell the story of how I met, dated, married, and divorced a real pathological liar. So she met her now ex-husband 2 weeks before the pandemic shut down in 2020, March of 2020. They moved in 2 weeks later because, like a lot of people, and I forgot about this, and I was watching other people's like opinions and just recaps of her story. I forgot that when the pandemic came around and the government was calling for a shutdown, people who live by themselves were afraid to quarantine by themselves.
Yeah.
So when we hear the story now in 2024, where it's like, you met him 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, you guys decided to like quarantine together. That's crazy. Is it really? Because when you think back, that was a very scary time. And one thing people didn't want to be was alone. So,
yeah.
But I mean, everything moves fast, and we're going to use the name Legion. She nicknamed him Legion. And when she first mentioned that she calls him Legion, I was like, Legion of Doom, which is probably where it came from. I don't know. But yeah, so she met Legion. They moved in after 2 weeks. He was basically love bombing her. But she thought that she met the man of her dreams because he was taking care of the rent. He was taking care of like all the utilities. She didn't have to worry about paying for anything except for her car and her cell phone. And, you know, everything seemed like a fairy tale for her, but things started to get really crazy when he and she were looking for houses to buy.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to move out of the county when her lease was up that summer. But he always had an excuse why he wouldn't close on a house. And when they got close to actually putting down an offer, I think he pulled out, or he didn't want to show proof of funds for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the house hunt was over. And then he promised her that he would get her a car because he had just got promoted, a luxury car. It was the midnight blue with the cognac interior.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So he had gotten promoted at the condiment company. He went from regional manager to VP of production or whatever it was. And he's like, I'm going to get a company car and I'll be able to get you one too. Same thing with the house. They were test driving cars. And just like, oh, these cars aren't good enough. Let's go to another dealer. Or like, okay, I'm finally going to get you a car and it's on its way, but it never came. And you know what? Red flag. You know what's funny? She even called it the United Nations of Red Flags because he had so many red flags.
So many.
What was I going to say? I think he really took advantage of the fact that it was COVID, because when they were house hunting, they were doing a lot of the walkthroughs virtually because you had to quarantine. You couldn't be around other people. You couldn't be in enclosed places with strangers. So a lot of like the house hunting was online. And I think COVID and, social distancing and everything like that kind of gave him a bit of a cover for a while to kind of like play out his lies. Dang. Yeah, it's crazy. So let's see. There's so much to cover. She ended up getting pregnant. And unfortunately, she lost the baby. Yeah. Oof. But I think everyone who has listened to her story, including herself, we're glad that she has no ties to Legion, including a baby. She lost a baby, which is sad, but we're glad that she no longer has ties to him. But when she was getting her surgery to remove the fetus, he was supposed to pick her up, and he was like 3 to 4 hours late. His assistant said that he was in a meeting. Assistant said that he was in a meeting.
I got an assistant.
Oh my God. So that was that. And, so of course she was feeling some way. She was, and then I think they had gotten married. I know they got married in January, and later on that month was when like all his lies started to fall apart. And I remember them going to like a family counselor who was like a pastor and his wife, a marriage counselor. And at the end of the session, the pastor's wife was like, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you guys would have came to us before you got married, I would have told you guys not to get married.
When somebody tell you that, there's something wrong.
There is something wrong.
And it's like, it's not like the homie, it's the pastor's wife. It's like, hey, by the way.
Right. Get out of here. And to me, I was like, damn, You got professional marriage counselors here telling you y'all shouldn't just got married.
Marriage guys are supposed to help y'all stay together, but they was like, you know what? Y'all should actually break up. Let's go
Right?
ahead and make this a divorce.
Exactly. So I watched every single TikTok video, and I think it was like in the last like maybe 15 to 20 videos when it really started to unravel and she started to really find out the truth.
Yeah.
So she did say on their first date, he told her a lot. He told her that he lived in several different states. He had an ex-wife. Yeah, he had an ex-wife in California. He met her while he was going to UC San Diego, while he was playing football there. He played arena football after that. Mm-hmm. And that's where he's got so much money that he put it in an offshore account. And his ex-wife's kids are still close to him and they keep in touch. So here's something about COVID that he used. He used COVID-19 as reasons why 3 people he knew died. So he used COVID-19 as a reason why his grandmother died, why his uncle died, and why his ex-wife's daughter died. When he said that the ex-wife's daughter died, he asked Reesa if it was okay for him to attend the funeral and also give money to the ex-wife to help with expenses. Of course, Teresa was like, I don't play about death. I'm supportive when it comes to that. So yes, let's donate. So fast forward, Teresa did some digging after his suspicions got like really like sus. I think she saw his social security number on an application for her to get another job. They wanted his information as well as hers. She saw his social security number and was like, that doesn't look like the social security number on our marriage license.
That's crazy.
So when they got married, she actually did do a background check or a search on the social security number he used for the marriage license, and it came up with nothing. And she thought that, okay, that's a green flag. Nothing came up. Or I don't know if that was a green flag because no information popped up. But anyway, when she saw the second social security number, she dug and she found a lot of stuff. She found out that he never lived in California. He's from Pennsylvania. So she saw Pennsylvania. He was in Rhode Island for some time, for some reason, and then Georgia, which they were currently in Georgia.
Yeah.
Through that, she found the divorce decree from his wife from California. She calls her and she answers. And that's when it got so good to me because his ex-wife gave her so many answers.
Yeah. The ex-wife will tell you everything.
Hey man, she has nothing to lose. She has nothing to lose at all.
That guy? You married who?
She basically told her, hello, who's this? Hi, is this Legion's ex-wife? Yes, who's this? I'm his current wife. Ooh, girl, you need to pack your bags and leave. Leave. The thing that got me was that so I think she asked her, okay, did you guys meet in California? No, we met in Georgia. I live in Georgia. And she asked so many questions, got so many answers. And at the end of the phone call, her last question was, so how's your daughter doing?
Yeah.
And she was like, my daughter's fine. What did he say about her? And she was like, oh, nothing. She said that she didn't have the heart to tell her that Legion lied on her daughter dying. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God. So after finding out that information, she kicked him out. I think at that time he had been pretty much bedridden because he had a knee injury that kept getting worse and worse and worse. When she kicked him out, no, she didn't kick him out yet because she gave him a chance to finally tell the truth. She's questioned him before and he always had an excuse. Oh, here's another lie that to me was like, what the F? So when she questioned him about going to UC San Diego and playing for their football team, she said, I called the school. They said they have no record of you. And he's like, oh, well, my dad paid for me to be a private citizen, so there's no record of me. And she's over here like, why? Why would? And the more she asked about it, the more defensive he got.
Yeah.
So she asked again, you didn't go to UC San Diego, did you? You never lived in California, did you? And then he's like, he started getting defensive. And she's like, tell me the truth. And he didn't. And she snapped. And she told him to get his shit and leave. He called his aunt, talking about she, Reesa is over here.
Right with the cops or something?
Oh, he told that lie later. But yeah. So he called the aunt talking about, like Reesa is kicking me out because Reesa's kicking me out because she says I lied to her. I never lied to her. At that point, she saw red. Yeah. She saw red. She kicked him out. Yeah.
You're just lying too much.
Lying way too much. She kicked him out. The aunt on the phone was in Pennsylvania. She was like, come home, meaning Pennsylvania. That same night, he drove his car from Georgia to Pennsylvania. A few days later, his cousin called Reesa after she found her on Facebook. And she was like, hey, is this Legion's wife? This is his cousin. I just want to get some answers. He said that he left because he caught you cheating with a police officer.
Crazy.
A police officer named Bradley or something. And he threatened to shoot Legion if he didn't leave. And that's why he left. The girl cousin was like, look, we haven't fucked with him for years. Because he's been a liar since he was a little boy. But he's family, so he's staying here for now. And Reesa had so many more questions. He was like, wow, nobody in his family likes him. But he talks to his brother every day on the phone.
This is the one my favorite. This one right here is my favorite.
Yeah, and then the girl cousin was like, wait, what brother are you talking about? And she said,
buddy.
I don't know, Chris. I think that was his name, Chris. She was like, last I heard they were beefing, but let me give him your contact information and maybe he can explain it to you or whatever. Maybe he has answers for you. So the older brother, Chris, called her and he gives her even more answers. And the answer is no. He was never on the phone with his brother.
He's like, I haven't talked to that dude in forever.
Yes.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I can hear when I read it, I can hear the brother's voice like, to what? To who?
Oh my God.
He got on my nerves. He been a liar. Like, the brother was like, he's been a liar since he was little. He always lied.
Oh my God. Yes. And so I can imagine like her head must have been like, in the movies where it's like you discover something shocking and unbelievable and like the room just closes in on you like, doo, 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 doo. What do you mean you were never on the phone with him? He was laughing with you on the phone. He was saying, oh yeah, man, you doing a barbecue this weekend? That'd be cool. I'm going to see if my girl can go. What?
Crazy.
It's like, what? Huh? Like he was like clockwork. She said every morning while he was getting ready for work, he was on the phone with him. And he was even saying, hey, Reesa, my brother says, what's up? Oh, hi, Chris. Oh, she says, what's up?
Crazy.
She was technically divorced after that.
Wow.
But I think that's pretty much the recap.
Yeah. But it was a recap, all right. It was something I didn't know about, like the end conversation. I think like the biggest thing for me about this whole thing is like a difference from a person who is a liar and a pathological liar, right? I think in this story, you can see the ways he made up stories. Like the big one is saying, I talk to my brother every day. Hey, say hi to my brother. Hey, you want to go to a barbecue? My brother say he having a barbecue on Wednesday. Oh, he's making up these lies and these stories. And it's like, you got to cover your ass when you're making all this bullshit, this BS up. You know what I mean? And
that's
so it's
crazy.
Like, I think the biggest thing that you didn't go over is we kind of laughed about it, but we didn't go in detail about was him having a secretary. And him saying he didn't make it to her like the miscarriage thing for the operation because he said his secretary was telling her telling that he was busy in a meeting and he couldn't make it. So while he's supposed to be there consoling her, helping her out, making sure she's in this time of need, he's acting like the secretary,
Yeah,
texting her
he's his
saying,
own
"Hey,
assistant.
I'm unavailable." That's like,
That
I think that's crazy. That's
it
like,
is.
there's a difference from a liar and then you just playing crazy. And I think, to me, that was one of the biggest things. Like, dude, you're literally texting this person saying you're somebody else, and you're almost your girlfriend at the time. I don't think they were married at the time, but you guys are in a relationship. You're
Mm-hmm.
acting like a secretary. Yeah,
So
that's bad.
you jogged my memory. She found something else of his. After she kicked him out, she started cleaning up. She found a backpack with a lot of documents in there of his. And this explains
Oof.
why he was stuck in the meeting and you got his secretary or his assistant, because he was
Mm-hmm.
not a VP of the condiment company. He worked there,
Okay.
but he was a
Okay.
temp. He was a forklift driver.
Okay. That makes sense.
So So his assistant, oh, he's in a meeting right now. No, he's not in a meeting. He's a temp. So he can't leave early or else he'll be out of
Got you.
there. So
He
that's
had to find some
why.
way to cover his story about his shift and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering why, like,
Yes.
that's crazy.
Yes. There were other like documents in there. Oh, there was a check stub. He had a former job being security at a cemetery. This is a cemetery that he had taken her to, talking about this is where my grandmother is buried. The
Uh-huh.
headstone that he took her to did not belong to her, did not belong to
Oh
his
my
family,
God.
but he knew the layout of the cemetery because he used to work there.
That's crazy. Like, when you're
That's
doing that much to
insane.
to lie, and then you covering up like details and stuff like that, and like,
Yes.
that's insanity. I gotta say, that is insanity.
Another thing too, when she was talking to his brother, he was like, look up his criminal history. One big thing that he did, he impersonated a police officer.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Who does that?
What? He told her a lie about his dad. He said that his dad was like chief of police or something growing up or whatever. But what he was a parole officer. Yes, he was just a parole
Stop it.
officer for a few years, but he still had his badge. So when Legion impersonated a police officer, he used his
Oh
dad's old
wow.
badge. And I think they said that what he did when he was impersonating police officer was basically he invaded somebody's home. He basically pushed his way in or something like that and did an illegal
Like a
search.
search? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Um, that's a
It's a
neat.
lot.
It's so much,
This is a
yeah.
story in
Like
so
little
much.
tidbits.
Yeah. I think in the beginning you kind of touched on it. A lot of people probably look at the story now and be like, "Oh, there were so many red flags, and how did you not
Oh,
know?" And
oh.
I'm like, you have to remember where we were at in that period. We were going through a
Mm-hmm.
pandemic where we didn't know what we were going through. Like, this was unprecedented. Like,
Yeah.
stay in your house. You can't go out, and like, shit's happening in China. Shit's happening overseas. People are scared.
Italy.
People are fighting. People are
Yeah.
like, stores were getting robbed, things like that. Like, people are literally scared. So I definitely see like how a person saying they'll be there for you, hold you down. He was paying for the bills. Like, in the beginning, you start to trust that person because you don't want to be alone during this time. Like you said, and I think we were
Exactly.
all kind of like a lot during the pandemic, and I think stats show that a lot of us were going through depression because a lot of us were losing our
Oh,
jobs. A lot of us were
yeah.
staying, and it affected us in some type of way. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we were very like, anybody and during that time could be kind of swayed in a certain moment.
Definitely. And for everyone judging her, like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you couldn't see the signs. I mean, it's hard for you to predict when you are basically in bed with a person that's bad. It's hard for you to predict that. You just kind of have to find out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she found out the hardest way possible. And also, the one thing I love about her is that she's like, I promise to tell the story in full, even if it makes me look like foolish or makes me look bad. And I truly, truly appreciate that, because she could have easily like made herself look like a genius, like I don't know, like a complete angel, or like a know-it-all, like
oh,
so
I
much
caught him,
wisdom.
and then you know, this is how you don't get like trapped, blah blah blah. She could have made it into that story, you know what I mean? But no, you really felt the sincerity and like the full truth of it, like knowing that she wasn't lying, because she was like, you know, I got to tell you all, even if it does make me look some type of way, and it's like, but I want people to know this so they're not like get caught up in situations like this.
If it can help one person.
Yeah, it's definitely a big time. But I ain't gonna lie, there's a script writer sitting on the side, like writing this down. Like, say what? Say what? We gonna make this a TV show on Hallmark or somewhere. It's gonna stream it on Amazon soon or something.
Well, she just got signed to CAA. It's a talent agency.
Oh, wow.
So she's being represented, and everyone's like, shoot, what's her name? That did Bridgerton, and name's on the tip of my tongue.
Shonda. I'm not getting
Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes, yeah.
She's a writer.
They're like tagging her, like, Shonda Rhimes, you got to write about this. So she's getting represented, and I think some rumors were going around that she was gonna get a book deal. I don't know, but
she deserves a check for something.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh my God. So her vulnerability was very much like, it was felt, it was seen. She was completely transparent, and as someone listening to her story, I mean that makes me feel her sincerity even more, because she did say, like, I wanted to get married. I wanted it to be my turn. I wanted that life.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like she made it clear, like, she was kind of more about getting married than who she was getting married to. She was just like, this is my turn, you know? So I definitely felt her on that. I was going to say, so when I was like trying to find recaps of this series, I saw that someone I follow on YouTube, actually, he's a psychologist. He goes by, his name is Dr. Kirk Honda, and his channel is called Psychology in Seattle. And he did a series where he, that's actually where I got the Reddit post from, because he used that, and he used that as most of his background because he didn't watch the video. But he said that his assessment of the situation with Legion trying to buy a house with no money was that not only is a pathological liar, but he's showing signs of being a psychopath. And that word is extremely scary, but that's the signs that he exhibited. So he was showing signs of a psychopath, like having like delusions of grandeur. Like, I know I don't have this money, but I'm gonna act like it. And by the way, the Chase loan approval paper, what he grabbed it off the internet. The image of his savings account that had a bunch of money in it, that was a screenshot from the internet. So he definitely pretended like he was that dude. And I kind of want to run down really quick. I know we're running a little long, but I found it really interesting what the psychologist had to say about the symptoms of psychopathic behavior. And he kind of gave like a little short list of it, and I should have pulled it up, but while I read these characteristics, I know that you and I have never come across anyone like Legion, but my curiosity is how we ever come across anyone that had these characteristics. So one characteristic of I keep saying psychological, psychopathic behavior or psychopathic personality disorder is lack of empathy, narcissism, shallow affect, which means if like you're grieving because someone died, you're not really like sad. It's
Bothered
almost
by
like
it.
it's like a fake sad.
Yeah.
Um, irresponsibility, meaning like you're like leeching off of other people. You have like, you can't control your impulses. Um, let's see, like, for example, like you have like, I don't know, you're, what do you call that? You steal, or like you
Yeah.
gamble, or like
Mm-hmm.
you assault people or whatever. Like you have very poor impulse control. Um, need for stimulation, which is kind of like poor impulse control as well.
Yeah.
And you have early behavioral problems. So like as a child, you like lit fires or like tortured animals and stuff like that. It makes me think of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I went to Long Beach City College, got my associate's in psychology,
Oh,
and
snap.
so,
I didn't know that.
so,
Okay.
yeah, so psychopath behavior is definitely probably from all the people you probably met somebody with a psychopath behavior. Um, they don't click every T, like not they don't have all the things, but definitely like somebody who is not affected by your emotions or cares about things that happen to other people, right? They don't
Yeah.
care about funerals and things that would normally get somebody emotional. They're not tied to that. They don't feel a certain type of way. Sometimes you can see a person kind of faking it. Like you're like, why does that person kind of feel like out of place? Like they don't know what to do. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of those are tendencies. You can see that because and then they use people. I think that's one of the biggest things about psychopaths. They don't the irresponsibility comes into they don't care about using you because it doesn't matter to them. They're not carrying that responsibility. They don't really have they lack the empathy to care that you might be sad or something might be affecting you, right? So the way
Right.
that this guy was making the lie happen and knowing that this situation is going to affect her, he didn't care. He didn't really even
Right.
think about it. He knew the lie had to happen. You know what I mean? The
Yes.
lie had to go, and he was living
Yes.
that lie. Didn't matter how it
Yeah.
was affected. Didn't matter about the whole situation. So those are the things about psychopaths. And they say there's a lot of rich people who are psychopaths because they do what they got to do to get rich.
Oof. I heard that. But you know what? I love how you mentioned the lying part, because not only do they lack empathy, they fail to accept responsibility for their actions. Um,
Exactly.
and also, like, I love how when we were talking a few minutes ago, you're like stacking, like stacking the lies. Dr. Honda, he mentioned that pathological liars, unlike people that are a normal liar, where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm sick, I can't go to work. I'm sorry, boss, I'm sick, I can't go to work. You just want a day off. So you're
Yeah.
lying for a reason.
Yeah.
Pathological liars, they just lie because it just comes to them. And they don't just make it
Yeah.
a simple lie, they make it bigger, bigger, bigger. Not only does he work at a condiment company, not only is he up there, he's the VP.
P.
He's the VP. And
But the thing, he didn't have to lie
yeah,
about that. I bet if he would have
no,
told him, like, I'm a forklift driver, she'd have been like, cool.
yeah, she would be like, "Oh, that's an honest job.
Yeah, that's a decent job. You know
You
what I mean?
know, you're holding it down. You have an
Forklift.
important role."
Exactly. But
Dude,
the thing
yeah.
is, I
So,
think it's also him not feeling like, I think it's also him not feeling like, you see a lot of the situation from his story. I don't think he felt like he was enough. You know what I mean? Like or his life was enough. It was
huh.
his dad is not a parole agent. He's the top certified cop on the top of the place. You know what I mean? Not
Yep,
only
yep.
is he working for the company, but he's the VP of the company. It's always taking it to the extreme, right? Not only gonna
Yes.
get you a car, but we're gonna get you the BMW fresh one with the super interior. So it's always taking that lie to the extreme, and it's
Yeah.
not even like where are you living. It seems like you're living in a fictional place, or you don't
Mm-hmm.
seem that you're enough.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Um, the funny thing is, when you were talking about his career, when she was talking to his family members after she kicked him out, they said that one of his brothers is actually his twin brother, and he's a VP and he has the 5-bedroom house, and he has the nice cars. So it's like he was kind of trying to emulate him. Yeah. And by the way, he had 2 phones. He had a regular phone and a work phone. The work phone was just a prepaid phone. That's something that she found out in his backpack because he had receipts when he would like add more minutes to it or something.
Man,
I don't know. So this was finalized basically in the middle end of 2021. As Reesa was telling her stories in her series, I think maybe after 15, 20 TikToks, someone found Legion. They found his ass. We weren't supposed to do that. We were supposed to keep our noses out of it. But somebody took it upon themselves to find him.
Oh,
and,
man.
And guess what Legion is doing? Still lying.
Why you always lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God.
Why you fucking lying? Dude, he still maintains that he left her because she cheated. He maintains that. And the funny thing is, somebody sent me the TikTok. By the way, I've bonded over my coworker over this. We've never been so bonded than us like watching the episodes and being in the same part of the timeline. But anyhow, I think she had sent me a video of Legion. And while he was like telling his side of the story, he was scratching his head, scratching his nose. I'm like, look at those tells. Those are tells. Yep. He knows what he's doing. Right. And to top it off, I think Hazel, she sent me a video, or did I find this? Where he claimed that he was at the Netflix office, basically, making it out to be like he's going to get a deal, right? He had video of like the break room, they had snacks and stuff like that, all the emblems on the wall that said Netflix or whatever. And he took a selfie with the Netflix logo on the back. Somebody on TikTok was like, let's analyze this video, shall we? The B-roll that he got of the break room with the snacks, he pulled it from another YouTube creator's video that's like so many months old or whatever. So we know that's not his footage. And 2, let's look at this selfie. There's some kind of weird light source on him that it looks like there's like a solar flare, like a sun flare. And there's like a blur right here, blur. And then she's like, not only that, I Googled the Netflix logo or the Netflix like decoration on the back. That's a lobby in Singapore. So you mean to tell me Netflix flew him all the way to Singapore for a deal? So it's clear that he is still lying.
Don't know how to stop.
He doesn't know how to stop. This is who he is. And I think his brother mentioned that he was on medication when he was young and then he stopped taking it. So yeah, I mean, get help, Legion. I mean, sorry that you were dealt the hand you were dealt, but you should still know right from wrong, you know?
Yeah, man. Overall, man, get some help, man. Yeah. Lying ain't help nobody, you know what I mean?
No,
stop living a fake life. Come back to reality. Come back to us. Still got a chance to live. Mm-hmm. Still got to make your life the best way. It's not your brother life, but you still got a life.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Bring it back. You know what I mean? It's okay. You're enough. You're enough. If you stop lying.
Enough. Exactly.
If you stop lying. First of all, if you stop lying. Nobody want to chill with a liar.
Exactly. That's so true. But I know one person that did benefit from him lying. That's Ressa Tessa. She's finally getting. So I don't know if you came across this in your research, but he had promised her a trip to London in Paris.
Yeah.
And that never happened, of course, but she's finally going to get it because all these people are helping her. And Delta said, we got you on the flight. I think like a big hotel chain was like, we got you on the lodging. You are good. So she is getting ready to go get her trip. Now, everybody's like, now BMW, you got to pull through. You got to get in that car, that dark blue car with the cognac interior.
Everybody talking BMW, like, hey, get her the car. She deserves it.
Exactly. But
I think the good part of the story is just I'm happy that, she's getting what, she went through all that stuff, but, people are coming out there. And, a lot of people are like, oh, you can look at it this one way, like, oh, humankind, like, oh, people are just like suck. And then you can look at it another way, people band together to like solve somebody's story. And it's like, hey, like, you shouldn't be going through this. Like, let's help this lady. Like, let's support her story. So it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like how people have all come together to basically, root for her and see that she does get what she deserves, which is like anything she wants in life. And also, yeah, it does bring awareness that, hey, just because you're a woman, you're you're getting a little older, you see your friends getting married and having babies, that doesn't mean you have to settle
Right.
for anybody.
Yeah.
And if something is too good to be true, look into it. And if he's not good enough for you, recognize that and move on, because just because, you feel like you're getting older, that doesn't mean your life is going to stop. You know what I mean? You don't have to
Facts.
settle for just anybody because you think that that's what you need to be happy in life, you know?
Facts. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Any closing remarks, Aaron?
Just overall, this is a crazy story. It was just when I started to read into it and I heard that I was going to be on tonight, and I was diving deeper and deeper and deeper. And then I was on the podcast, and bam,
Yeah.
here we are. So no,
Yeah.
I just want to thanks for having me on here, and hopefully Hazel is better for the next show, and she can go ahead and take over because you know she's definitely doing it every week with you. So yeah, man, it's crazy.
For sure. Well, it was definitely a pleasure having you. I'm so glad that you were so ready and prepared in such a short amount of time. And this was definitely an awesome topic to cover because it touched on everything. It touched on entertainment. It touched on the human experience. It touched on humanity and just being kind to each other, and also mental health. You got to get help
Yeah.
if you need it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I hope you guys out there enjoyed this episode. Comment down below if you want Aaron back for more episodes. I know you do. But yeah, in the meantime, be sure to catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. We have exclusive content on tracklife.com. And you can also
Sure.
follow us on all of our socials at the.Fillennials. And you can listen to us. I already said that. You can listen to us at all those places. Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, it's your girl, Lindsay Does It.
It's AD Aaron.
And we'll see you next time.